Hello guys, welcome to the Bright Agent. Today I'm going to say some of the terms that food tech students, like me, struggle with. Although I don't really struggle with them. I'll just give a few of them. Dextrinization. Dextrinization is when a starch browns when it's heated. For example, when you toast bread. That's why it browns. No, it's totally different to the Maillard reaction, because the Maillard reaction isn't really too different, but it's used for different things. It's just outside starch. It's not browning for starch. Dextrinization is when starch browns when it's heated. Now, coagulation. You may not really struggle with this, but what comes up in the exam is what temperature does an egg coagulate or something, because that's the most common example. And a lot of students don't know that. So coagulation is when the proteins set when they're heated. For example, when you're frying an egg. Eggs coagulate at 63 degrees Celsius approximately. Some sources may tell you otherwise, but the rule of thumb is usually just to say around 63 degrees. And the final one, intensive farming. Some people may say, oh, it's farming intensely, so therefore people use labour to work the hardest. Some people may see what you mean because it's intense. But no, intensive farming is when farmers try to get the maximum amount of product out of it. For example, when they're doing cows, feeding them before they get turned into meat, they want to really just not use too much cost, and they still want to get their final product. So if they were doing that, they would literally just feed the cow until, even if it was overweight, they wouldn't really mind because they're getting more out of their final product, which actually costs them less in the long run, so they can sell them for more. I'll give you another example of that. Crops. So, for example, organic farming would basically be just trying to do it naturally. For example, just introducing natural predators rather than putting pesticides or things like that. Whereas intensive farming on crops would be just get as much product there as possible. Just put fertilizer in there, essentially. And that's all I have for today. Be bright, stay right, and have a good day.